Thanks so much for coming. Fantastic. Good to be connected. Okay, we only have 30 minutes and it goes really fast because I want to get you off. I know there's a whole bunch of other Zoom calls going on tonight with candidates and other meetings and things going on. So we're just gonna get as much done as we can. But really, let's take a look at the name of this meeting tonight. It was called the National Leadership Briefing Final 48 Push. And what that means is that we have come so far. We have actually come so far, and we're now 48 hours away from the first deadline that we know it's been coming in one of the opportunities that we've been watching for when we can and how we can exercise our influence within different realms. This one happens to be in politics. I'm talking about, of course, the Conservative Party leadership election race. So this is why we're here tonight. Is I just wanted to call a special meeting here just to make sure that as we're coming down the home stretch, as we're focusing on this immediate task ahead of us. There's lots of other things we focus on the National Leadership Briefing. As you know, we spend a lot of time and energy looking for those opportunities in other spheres. This one's political, this one's right in front of us, but this deadline coming up in 48 hours is the deadline to buy memberships in the Conservative Party of Canada so that you can actually receive a ballot and vote in the leadership election race itself. Now, I know that sounds political. And if you are just brand new, if somebody has invited you to be on this quick call tonight, I got to just share with you, I hear your heart when you go, what is he talking about? And why is he talking so fast? Because it's like jumping on a moving train right now. We have been working on exercising influence within this leadership race for several months now, and we've been building an understanding and building momentum all the way along. So you're coming in because somebody said that they felt that you represent the same views, or that you share the same views and values as they do, and they wanted you to be a part of this conversation here tonight because they wanted you involved. They wanted your influence to be added to our influence so that together we can have greater influence. And the way that works in politics is, especially when there's an election of someone coming up, is the more people you have involved, the more ballots you receive, and the more ballots you receive, the more votes you can cast, and the more votes you can cast, the greater influence you have on the outcome of the election. So there are 4 candidates, as you may or may not already know. There's 4 candidates, and there is a wide range of views that they have, and we're going to trust over the next couple of months here, we're going to have lots of time to be bringing you up to speed on who the candidates are and sharing information about them, and you're going to get to know them. But but the thing is here is that it's nice to know who the candidates are, and it's nice to know what they're all about. But if you can't vote for one of them at the end and exercise your influence at the end, then it's really just like watching TV. You're not really involved. So we wanted everyone to become involved. And the way we do that is that when we're coming up on this deadline, we get together, we talk about it, and we recognize, look, we got 48 hours left. What is it that we need to do in the next 48 hours to maximize the amount of influence that we're going to have in the outcome of this leadership election race? Now, I know that every one of you that has been connected to me, and we've been on the National Leadership Briefing and been on the midweek touch points before, I know that you're familiar with what I'm talking about, but I just want to take a second for the new folks that are joining us here. If you've been invited by somebody here, I just wanted to let you know a little bit about where we're coming from. What we're doing right now exists within the context of a much bigger thing. So I want to tell you a little bit about, like, sort of bring it up to 30,000 feet quickly. Now, there is also going to be room or time for questions. So just so you know, if you have questions, I want you to type them in the text chat, in the chat box, and then we're going to try and get to as many of them as we can today. And if we can't get to them all, believe me, there's going to be lots of time for us to follow up after. But type those questions in the text chat box. But I'm going to just ask you to do me a favor. Try and keep the questions focused on the immediate road ahead. It's a big conversation we're having here right now in Canada about who should lead and all of the different candidates and all the different policies and all that kind of thing. But there's only one thing that's immediately in front of us, and that is the deadline. So we want to keep this deadline for membership purchases as the focus of this final 48 push. So if you have a question about how you can be more effective, or if you have a suggestion about how you've been more affected and you want to share that and you want me to tell folks about it, type it in the chat box and I will be happy to share it up to the point where we run out of time. But let's pull it back to 30,000 feet, and really quickly, just for the new folks, we all are, everyone that's on the call here tonight, everybody that's here at on this webinar tonight, all of the folks that are here, unless you're brand new, knows that we get together once a month on something called the National Leadership Briefing. Now, it's a meeting that happens on the first Friday of every month, and the reason why we hold the meeting is because we want to come together for 1 hour, just a small amount of time, regularly once a month, to rally around the things that we believe in, to find ways that we can advance our ideas into society, culture, politics, and government. And it is a teaching, training, brainstorming, we look for opportunities where we can exercise our influence. We're constantly scanning the horizon, looking at things like school board trustee elections, provincial elections, federal elections. The one we're in right now, we've got an opportunity to elect the leader of a major political party who could quite possibly occupy the highest office in the land, or the highest political office in the land, as Prime Minister of our country. So we come together rallying around the things that we believe in, and we try to advance our ideas and advance our influence into these different realms using our combined influence, so that it has greater influence. So if you're new here today, just so you know, the great news is that you have just linked arms with people who believe in these things. First off, we believe that parents have the right to raise their children the way they want. We believe that parents should have the authority to raise their children with the same faith tradition and with the same values that their parents raised them. And it is up to the parents, not civil government. The second thing that we rally around here, we call them pillars actually, on the National Leadership Briefing, is that those we elect to serve us in civil government at all levels, federal, provincial, municipal, school board trustees, all elected officials must respect and defend our right of belief and freedom of religion. That's really important to us. The third thing we're rallying around here on the National Leadership Briefing, and when we get together to exercise our combined influence, is that we believe that the laws and policies of civil government must provide for the safety and security of the citizens, especially the vulnerable that live among us in our communities. The vulnerable are so important to us. So if you're going to expand euthanasia, the eligibility of euthanasia to include children and the mentally ill, well, okay, we got something to say about that, and we want to have as many people as we can rallying around that third pillar and letting the government know that we do not support exposing people to great risk in that way. The fourth pillar that we rally around is that we feel that it's inappropriate for the civil government to heap debt upon the backs of our children and future generations. Placing a yoke of excessive taxation on our children for the things that we're spending money on today is not fiscal policy that we support. So you've just linked arms with people that believe in that, and now here we are. We're 48 hours away from electing somebody who could become the next Prime Minister of Canada, because that person's going to lead a major political party, and we want to make sure that we're engaged in that process. Now, the engaged is the key word. Let me share my screen with you here because I want to show you something. This here is a tool that we actually set up to help everybody. Let me just get that out of the way. This is a website called conservativeupdate.com. Now, we set up this tool because we were in a situation when this leadership election race started. You may remember there was a question as to whether or not our ideas or our views and values should even be a part of the conversation. There were people questioning whether or not that we should even be allowed to run candidates that had our same ideas. And if you'll recall, there was a good possibility that they were going to have this entire leadership election race run within this major political party, and the things that were important to us weren't even going to be a part of the conversation. So we started at the National Leadership Briefing, which is made up of you telling us what you wanted. We started this website, conservativeupdate.com, and we joined everyone together to rally around the things that we believe in something called Operation Engage. And we put a time clock on the website, and look at where it's at. 1 day and 22 hours and 48 minutes away from the deadline to purchase membership so that you can receive a ballot. And so we've been working together towards this moment in time for a very long time. But why have we come together? Let's just go down here. We've come together around something called Operation Engage. This is our strategy. The strategy has 4 goals. The first goal of the strategy was to open a dialogue with Conservative Party members on the issues that matter most to us as people of faith here in Canada, things like the 4 pillars. The second priority or goal was that we wanted to share with the Conservative Party members what we considered to be the platform priorities we wanted to have discussed during the election. Then we also the third goal, we wanted to identify the common ground between our ideas and the other Conservative Party of Canada members. And then finally, our fourth goal was to move forward together, unified on the things that we share in common with them, move forward on that ground towards the next election. So we wanted, the whole thing is called Operation Engage because we wanted to engage, share our ideas, find the common ground and move forward unified. And I got to congratulate you all on that because you have been doing amazing work. You have had people from across Canada rallying around these ideas. You have done things that I didn't even think were possible here. If you take a look at the Common Ground platform, do you see where it says here, parental authority, right of belief, protection of the vulnerable, and our children and future generations? These have been the conversations that have been taking place in all of the candidate communications that we've been seeing coming out of the candidates. So you have helped drive the conversation because of your involvement and your engagement in this process. These are the things that are going to be discussed. Now, here's the best part here of the structure of this and why it is we're so excited moving forward is that this, you see where it says leadership candidate communication? I'm going to click on that. This is the leadership candidate communication page on the conservativeupdate.com website that we've set up for you to use. We have candidates, all 4 candidates have been asked to submit videos and written word commitment statements and PDFs to put on this page and to send out to you that speak directly to the issues that you feel are most important. Things like parental authority and the right to raise your kids the way they want, and right of freedom of religion, and fiscal responsibility and protecting the vulnerable. They are about to, well, actually what they're doing is they're in the process of sending the videos to me, and I'm going to post them on this, and we're going to launch this page at the next National Leadership Briefing. So this is their response to the things that you wanted to have identified as priorities. So you are engaged. Congratulations. Now, the thing is, though, is that what good is all of that if you are not a member of the Conservative Party of Canada and you don't get a ballot? I know there are some people out there still, I hear it all the time, that go, I don't like joining political parties. I don't like getting all messed up in that. It's dirty stuff. But the reality is that if you do not participate in the process, you as someone who shares my views and values, by the way, you and I are allied in so many ways, but if you don't participate in the process, believe me, other people are that don't share your views and values. Other people are out there engaging in the process and they're going to choose. So I'm only doing all of this because I really believe that these ideas that you have as people of faith in Canada, I'm only doing this because I genuinely believe that your ideas and the principles that you have produce fruit and good fruit in the lives of the people that are all around you, your neighbor, those that we're called to care about. I believe that the Christian principles, that the faith principles that are identified in the ideas that are on this site, I believe that they will not harm our neighbor. I believe that they'll actually help our neighbor, and our neighbor will prosper. So I'm here to say, let's get in there and engage on these ideas. Let's advance these ideas. Let's do our neighbor a favor and participate in the process and vote for the person that best represents our views and values, because we know they will make the best decisions for our neighbor as prime minister and as leader of the party. So that's why we're here today. It's not because we're all just running around because we want to win. It's not because I'm trying to sell you a $15 membership in a political party so that people start asking you for money. That is not why I'm here. I am here today because I really genuinely believe that you have good ideas. You've proven your ideas are good. Those ideas that you have been proven over millennia to produce good results for our neighbor. So that's why we want to have them advance, but we need your help. We need you to participate. So again, if you're new and this is all brand new to you, I'm going to make a suggestion to you. I'm going to ask you to do something. I'm going to ask you to, you yourself, make sure first and foremost that you have your membership, that you go to Conservative, go to this website if you want, because there's a link there. You can just click on it and then you can go straight to the Conservative Party website and buy your membership. Conservative.ca is the party website where you can buy the membership. Go to that, spend $15, get your membership. But it's bigger than that. We're in the final 48 hours. I'm going to get real excited here because think of what's possible in the final 48 hours if all of us, and I mean all of us from across Canada, if we all decide that we're just going to pour gas on the flames. We're just going to run as fast as we can towards the finish line. Why don't we double our numbers? Or why don't we triple our numbers in the last 48 hours? Why don't we take the people that we've already talked to and that have said yes, and that have said, yeah, I want to get a membership. Why don't we contact them again and say, let's go get some more people. Let's make a list. And that's what I'm going to suggest that you do today. I'm going to make a suggestion to you here. I want you to make a list after you get your Conservative Party membership taken care of. Make a list of two different lines, a line down the center. On one side, put of all the people that you haven't talked to yet about this opportunity to come together with us to increase our influence on the outcome of this race. Make a list of the people you haven't talked to. And on the other side of the list, make a list of the people that you have talked to, but divide that into the people that have said yes and the people that have said no. And the reason why I'm saying that is because the very first people that you're going to call, of course, is the people that you have not talked to yet. We've got to get the word around. We've got to pour it on. Make the list tonight. Take care of your membership, then make the list, and then start making some phone calls. And when you get them on the phone, I even wrote this down because I think this is really important. Don't come across with your hair lit on fire like I'm doing right now. That is not what you want to duplicate. What you want to duplicate is you want to tell them why. Tell them why it's important. Tell them that the person that's going to get elected is going to be in the highest office in the land. And we need them to have to share our views and values and have the ability to make good decisions that are going to positively impact the lives of our neighbor. Tell them why. Tell them it's important, and then tell them you wouldn't have contacted them if it wasn't important, and that you will help them right now get on the line and actually get themselves a membership so that they'll receive a ballot. But you got to do it in the next 48 hours because that's all the time there is. Now, as far as time goes here, let's take a look here. So we got 18 minutes in. I'm going to wrap it up here with one last point here. And then I want to take a look at some of the questions and answer them for you. And I'm going to be looking for the questions of like the things that are getting in your way, the things that are holding you back, the things that are working for you, the things. Let's keep it focused on, like I say, on the next 48 hours. But I want to just leave this one comment with you. Some people don't realize the significance of some of the decisions that are made by civil government. Some people live live their lives quite separate from directly feeling the heat of civil government in their lives. But there are others who are directly impacted by the decisions of civil government. And I've run into so many of them over the years because I'm in the citizen action business. That's what I do. I'm constantly out there and I'm hearing the stories about the decisions that civil government has made that has negatively impacted the lives of our neighbor. So if you don't believe what I'm saying is true about the possibility and the potential for some government officials to make bad decisions that will harm your neighbor, believe me, it's happening. We don't have time to get into it now, but I have witnessed horrifying things that decisions that civil government has made, some of them related to euthanasia, some of them related to the legalization of marijuana, some of them related to our current status on abortion legislation. All of these things you could pull down all sorts of tragic, terrible stories of real people with real problems because civil government has not made good decisions that prosper the people. So if you won't do it for yourself and engage in this process, I'm going to ask you to do it for your neighbor, because that is the person we're really doing it for, is that we can stand in the gap right now and we can say, look, we want to stand for these things. We want to stand up and say, this is what we want to see represented in the highest office in the land. And we want to help put that person in there, but you got to get a membership. So I'll leave it at that. Let's have a look at the questions here. I want to bring it up here. Let's just stop sharing the screen here. So go to conservativeupdate.com. And let me just bring up the Q&A. Actually, I haven't done this yet. Okay, so it says here, Lorraine tried to buy a membership and the address box did not allow me to put in the street address. The street address is not listed in the pop-up box. Okay, Lorraine, if you have any trouble online, try and phone the party. Try and phone somebody at the party. And if you can't get a membership, phone me. So my office, my phone number at the office is 250. As a matter of fact, we'll make sure that you get a copy of my phone, 250-493-1125. 250-493-1125. And by the way, anybody who doesn't get their question answered, we're taking these questions down and we're going to get in touch with you and try and answer your questions after the fact as well. Okay, anonymous attendee. What is the deadline for buying memberships on Friday? It's 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Good question. Now, if you go to conservativeupdate.com, there's information right on that front page with the countdown clock as to the deadline. And there's also a link where you can buy your Conservative Party membership. Do you have an example of an effective, concise email we can send out to our network in the next 48 hours and try to recruit more memberships? That is an awesome thing. Okay. You know what, Lori, get in touch with me. We should be posting something online. Oh, you know what? Go to the resource page on conservativeupdate.com. If you go to conservativeupdate.com, click on the resource tab, I think there might be some videos that you can share as well. And that also help as well. But I'm going to try and get, I am going to get that done. I just got to make sure that I'll have a letter put up there for you as well. Letter. Good question, Lori. Okay, still getting pushback, FBC 2020, to get people to take out memberships in a specific party. Christians, church people get hung up on church and state issues. Okay, that's a great question, and that's really fair because there's a lot of conversations and confusion out there as to what you're allowed to do and what you're not allowed to do. But I try to keep it simple. I'm never going to tell you who to vote for. That's one thing that I commit to you. And you can commit to other people that you're never going to tell them who to vote for. You're not coming to them and saying, I want you to vote for this person. That would be a partisan political action. But what you're talking to them about is engaging in the conversation that's about to take place and having them decide for themselves who they would want to have as the next Prime Minister of Canada. Because this major political party, the chances of this individual becoming the Prime Minister of Canada is very high. So it's very important that we get the right person in line. So bring it back a bit from the political party side of things and just say, look, joining the political party is just the mechanism that gives you the ability to participate in the process. After the process is over, you can actually do whatever you want with your membership. You really can. Now, I'm going to encourage you to look around for other opportunities while you're there, but it isn't, hey, we've got another leadership election coming up in the Green Party. If we've got people tonight that all feel more aligned with the Green Party, then get involved in that leadership race as well. But that's a good question. So encourage them on engagement. Don't encourage them to join a political party. Just say, look, I really believe that it's good to engage in this process. And I really want you to have your influence aligned with our influence so that we can vote together and combine our influence. So, but let me know if you're still getting pushback on that, because I'd really like to make sure that you don't get hung up on that. Then it says, thanks for your passion. What drives the passion? I believe I know the answer, but please tell us why. Okay. What drives the passion? Okay. I'll tell real quick, because we got lots to go over, but what drives the passion is that I became a Christian 20 years ago. 20 years ago, I just got this, I prayed to God that he would tell me what my calling is. I really did. I was told by my pastor that if I was on this, that I was on this earth for a reason, and that if I didn't know why I was here, what specific calling I had, that I should pray and that God would reveal it to me. And in church one Sunday, I had somebody walk into the church and gave a report about an election that's coming up. And 20 years ago, I immediately had this feeling in my heart that I was supposed to encourage people to vote. And I've been doing it for 20 years. That's what I've been doing. So that's why I'm pretty passionate about it, is because I really feel called to do it. Okay, let me see. Can one join two different political parties to influence a vote? Now, it says in the political parties, it says you should only be a member of one party. You can only be a member of one party. Some parties don't say anything at all about it, but what I say is I'm willing to go by whatever the rules are of that party. If they say that you can't be a member of two parties in the Constitution, then I say, okay, I'm only a member of one party. But remember, if my views and values are not going to be represented in this party, then they're risking not getting any donations from me. Now, I don't cut and run very fast, so I'm in there just swinging the bat all the time in the Conservative Party. I don't like switch parties real fast. But if you don't like the party you're in, don't give them any money, and don't vote for their guys. Vote for someone else. Okay, so we can influence all parties to stand up for godly values. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. And that's what I love about pastors who actually grab a hold of this concept, because what they do is they stand up at their pulpits and they preach from the pulpits. They teach from the pulpits the godly principle, which is what you need to know. You need to know the godly principles. And then we go out into the world to try and find a candidate that is aligned with what we believe in those views on those principles, and B, is willing to represent those if they're elected to office. So when a pastor realizes that, wait a second, I have a role in all of this, that I'm supposed to teach the people the godly principles, so that when they get in the voting booth, they're looking at the actual names on the paper and they can judge whether that person is aligned with their views and values or not. But if they don't know what they think about euthanasia, if they don't know what they think, what God thinks about abortion or all these other issues, then they're not going to be able to pick the right candidate. Now, on that note, though, this is why I love working with pastors too, is because you do what you do, pastors, teach the people the godly principles, because my job is to make sure that by the time you end up with that ballot in your hand, filling it out, I'm going to make sure that you have all the information that you need over the next period of time. I'm going to make sure that you have all the information you need for you to decide who best represents your views and values. And I'm going to tell you right now, we have 2 months after this Friday for you and I to spend time together, and for me to share information with you that will clearly show you how and who best represents your views and values. I'm not going to tell you who to vote for, but I am going to be able to share information with you that will give you all you need to make a good decision. And you know what? The first good decision you make that's based on your own choices, and where you don't have somebody telling you who to vote for, man, it feels good. You're going to have such a good time with that. It's going to empower you. You're going to want to vote all the time, just like me. Okay, what are the rules for the CPC for being more than one party? I think you can only be a member of one party. One party. I'll double check that. It's in the documents. I believe that's true because I helped merge the policy books of the Conservative Party with another party years ago, and it was then. So I'm pretty sure it is today. So check that out. But it's whatever the party says. Go with that. And we do have any more questions here? Okay, how are we doing for time? I think we're good. 6:28. Any more questions? Wow, half an hour. We go fast, don't we? Hey, so this is the thing. 48 hours is a lot of time. It's a lot of time, and we can use it, and we can use it well. But you know what? No matter what happens, I just want you to know what you've done so far has just been awesome. It really has. I just really believe that there's more in us. Like I really do. Like we have done things together. You and I, we've come together. We've accomplished so much. We've learned about the 4 pillars. Everybody's talking about the 4 pillars out there. But what if we could just do that a little bit more? That's all I'm asking for. I just think that we could do it. I think really do. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do more. Operation Rise. What is it? Okay. Operation Rise is just a group of people across the nation that want to see the 4 pillars advanced into the realms of society, culture, politics, and government. And those, again, those 4 pillars are, parental authority, right of belief and freedom of religion, protecting the vulnerable, and fiscal responsibility. And it says here, okay, I got another here. Your number to help someone buy memberships. My number to help somebody buy memberships. Call me at the office. Call me at the office, 250-493-1125 if you want help to find out where to buy membership. But you can go to conservative.ca, and they have a 1-800 number if you have any trouble buying memberships on their website. And then it says here, Norma's got a question that says, do we vote for MPs too, or just the leader? This election that's coming up, that the deadline is for membership is on Friday, is just for the leader. It's just the leader. We're going to have lots of time to get ready for voting for individual MPs down the road, but this is just for leaders. Super important key position, but your local representative is important too. So we're going to be spending as much time on that in the future as we're doing with this. You know what? It's 6:30. I think we're there. It is. Gosh, thank you so much, guys. I thank you so much for letting me just be a part of the conversation with you. Thank you for letting me be engaged with you. And thank you for adding your godly influence to mine. So together we can advance kingdom principles into these realms, because it's so important. Our neighbor lives out there. And if we can advance these ideas out there and raise the profile of them and build support around them, then we know that our neighbor is going to prosper as a result of that. So thank you so much for joining the call. Now, I'm going to see you on next week's midweek touch point next Wednesday, but this is the last time we're going to chat online before the leadership membership deadline occurs. And then after that, we're going to start informing you as to what it is that you can do to prepare for your ballot arriving in the mail, which isn't going to come till mid-July. We got lots of time. So relax. You got lots of time to figure out who to vote for, but you got to get that membership by Friday. Okay? Thank you so much for your time. God bless you. God bless your family, and God bless Canada. Oh, I'm so excited. I can't wait to see how this whole thing turns out. Have a good night. Take care, gang. Bye-bye.